everybody, you know, with the protesting and with everything that's going on, I'm all about solutions. What, in your opinion, what do you feel will be a solution for a lot of the stuff that's going on?
Thank you. You just segued us into the reason we got Jonathan here. First of all, you want to really stop all this bullshiggity? Reparations. You owe it to us. You've owed it for hundreds of years now.
My trouble is so the injustice is done. The injustice is done, unfortunately, over a long period of time in many different ways. I'm not sure that the answer can be just cut a check for $500,000. I'm 100% there. Well, my point is, there's a way to solve this logically. I'm not against the spirit of it. I just don't think that if all of a sudden you went and you pumped $20 trillion into the country, that 5 years from now we would actually be in the state we want to be in. My point of a dialogue is, right now, all I've been hearing is it's 530,000. 530 is 20 trillion. As a nation state, unfortunately, we do that, we'll end up like Argentina was in the 80s.
Well, it's true.
Okay?
But
so you're talking about leveling the playing field. It's how we behave together, how we teach our kids to behave.
But you're still 250 years ahead.
I can't fix that today.
Okay. And if we don't fight for what we deserve right now, we're going to be dead. And you don't get that because you keep talking about if you write the check, it's going to hurt the country. The country hurt us first. You destroyed my family. You killed me. You went after me. You murdered me in the street. You hung me from trees and put it on the back of postcards. Not you, but the people that looked like you that had the power did it. You burned down my communities. You infiltrated it with drugs, and then every single group that did something to empower us, you went in and destroyed it. But yet the KKK still lives. You owe me, and it's not that I'm not angry. It's not that I'm just angry about one thing. I'm angry about everything. You still killing me in the streets, and you doing it on camera now. You killed Tamir Rice before the car stopped rolling. He was 12 years old, and nobody went to jail. You shot Mike Brown with his hands up. You choked Eric Garner to death. You killed Trayvon Martin. How many? You just killed the boy up in Georgia, and they didn't even want to go put them bastards in jail.
Breonna Taylor.
We just watched them come into a house and shoot a woman dead. What about the policeman that looked through the window and shot a woman in her own house? Dude, you keep telling me all this stuff about the finance. We got to get away from what they're doing to us, and we can't do it with the way you're talking. But what's going to end up happening is black folk, this anger that you see me speaking with, this passion, is what the whole country of black men are feeling. Because you're not going to keep killing us, and we keep standing around waiting for you to do what's right. I made a statement the other day. I said for every one black man, he is good for five black guys, white guys. If the fight break out and you can't get your gun, you in a bad situation. Because there's guys out here that really want to hurt you because you've killed us for so long. This ain't nothing new. And you keep telling me about the finances. Dude, we don't give a fuck where you get them from. I don't care if you got to go sell pussy on the corner, but you owe me what you owe me. And that's the way we feel. And the problem is, everybody keep trying to be nice. Nonviolent shit got the people that was nonviolent killed violently. Y'all keep talking about Dr. King. You killed him. You shot him dead. You killed Mega Evers. You really want me to keep going? I can go on and on and on. You've been killing us since forever. This ain't stopped, and it ain't gonna stop. And dude, the best place for us to be is away from a lot of this foolishness. But we can't. Oh, why we can't? Because you made it where we couldn't. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you know what they call a black man in a Maserati? The same thing they call a black man walking, a nigga. You know what they call a rich black man and they call a poor black man? Nothing, a nigga. Do you know what they called me when I was boxing? Huh? A nigga. You know what they call me now that I train? A nigga. It ain't going to change. So you can look at me one way and see me another way, but I'm always gonna be the same way to the average white man, a nigga. And everybody act like I'm wrong, and I'm not. But when you put it all into a pile, as my mama say, when you heap it all together, you owe me what you owe me. And so black folks start standing up and telling these politicians, I ain't fucking with you. Not till you cut the check. I don't give a damn where you get the money from. You get the money from everything else. Stop. Bring our troops back from these countries. Bring them back. How much that is? You better stop adding this shit up. You got a lot of black men that's ain't what we got to lose. You done took everything else. But that's where we're headed.
Self-destruction.
And this country is going to implode because it did it to itself. You made the bill. You made the tab. But now you don't want to pay it. It's like you going sitting down in the bar, drinking up all the liquor you want, eating up all the food you want. Then when the bill comes, you know what you say? Well, shit, if I pay that, it's going to bankrupt me. Did you think about that while you was eating? Didn't you know that before you was eating? Didn't you know it before you walked into the building? But they never thought this would happen. They never thought that the black man would ever be free. They never thought the black man would stand up and say, hey, this is what you owe me. But the problem is, you keep giving me all these excuses to make it sound good. You owe what you owe. Either you pay it, if your debt is too big, file bankruptcy. That's where I am with this place. I don't care how you feel about it. You've made money off my back for 400 years. And I'm tired. And that's how most black men feel. And I'm speaking the anger of most black men. I'm tired. We know you got it. Well, they can't keep printing. They should have thought about that. They should have said, this is your first installment, black man. Cut the check. I need what you can't give it all to me. You can't give it all to me in gold. You better. I take some land. Come on, but I need my check, and that's what black folk got to start saying. You know the worst thing you can, and the worst thing you can tell me is that I gotta think about the country. The country ain't never thought about me. Tell me what law this country ever made to secure me from police brutality. Don't worry, I'll wait. Tell me what law. Tell me what law this country has written to make sure that my children were safe. I'm still waiting. Tell me. They tell me it's a stand your ground state. But if a white man shoot a black man, don't let nothing happen. But if a black man shoot a white man, they put his black ass in jail.
Going to jail.
Come on. You keep telling me about the atrocities of slavery. I'm gonna tell you something that a lot of folk don't know. My father died from a little disease with a big name called AIDS, but it had no name when he died from it. I was a little kid watching my daddy get sick. When they go to the doctor, he would be doing okay. He'd go back to the doctor and they put him on new medication, and he'd get fucking sick all over again. And I told you about Fauci. I kept telling you about that bastard, and I told you about him. I said, and my father got so sick one time they took him to the doctor. They took him to the hospital, and I was 7 years old. I was just getting ready to turn 7. And my daddy was in the hospital at Old University Hospital on 8th Street. And I would get out of school and I would go see my daddy. And my dad said, hey, I'm finna go to surgery this week, tomorrow. So you ain't got to come up here because they're going to take me to surgery. It's going to be all day. I said, okay. I said, you going to be okay? He said, yeah. I said, well, I'm going to be here anyway. I said, I'll wait outside the door. Had my dad in the room. I couldn't even go back there. I had to go to a glass door and talk to my daddy through a door like he was in prison. I went to the hospital and he came out. They rolled him up to the front. Nurse knew I loved my dad. They rolled him up to the front and I spoke to my dad. I'll never forget it. He said, I'll be home soon. He said, I'm okay. I said, all right. He came home. He had a big scar on his stomach. Looked like a sad face. All the way through all the way over his stomach. I was 7. I never forgot that scar. My father then died 3 years later. About 3 years later. After losing me to the courts because he couldn't stop my grandmother from abusing me and he had to live with her, this, that, and other, and they took me from the house, and I went to see my father again. I had to sneak off from my foster home and go see my father. And I would go see him. He was my best friend. Best guy I ever met in my life. He was an alcoholic, but he was my daddy. He loved me, and he would tell me every time I went to see him, I love you more than I love myself. Last time I saw him, I was like 9 and some change, right before my birthday. I said, I'm going to come over here and try to come over here and see you, Daddy. He said, okay. He said, how you getting here? I said, I walk. I walk from over in Mixon Town, and I go the way, come back up the back road, and I come across the train track where we used to cut wood, and I just come through here and see you. And he said, damn, boy, mind you, I was a 9-year-old kid who knew my way around the city that well. You told me the other day, damn, that you know your way around well. Well, this is one of the reasons I do. I saw my daddy. He still had every suit that he ever bought me that I was too big for on the back of his door. And I went in and I saw him, and I never forget looking at that scar again. I said, Daddy, what did they do right there? He said it was an operation. It was exploratory surgery. I researched it some years later. How they would take patients who had this disease that they knew that was out there, and they'd open them up just to see how the medication was moving through their body and what it was doing to their organs. Exploratory surgery. Yeah, that's what it was. I was 15 years old. I started working for a place called People's Pharmacy on the corner of Davis and Myrtle. Dr. Clarence Mills was a surgeon, was a pharmacist there. He said, "What your daddy died from?" I said, "He died from bronchopneumonia and septic shock." He said, "Really? That's what he died from?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Okay, hold on." He went in the back and he got me all these pamphlets on AIDS. And he gave them to me. He said, "I want you to read these and come back to the bar." I said, "Yes, sir." So I put them in my little backpack. Took my basketball and bounced home. Bounced my ball back home after I got off work. I made $50 a week. That's what I made. I read those pamphlets. I started reading. And I couldn't stop reading. I read every pamphlet that night, word for word. I went back to work the next day, and I said, "Dr. Mims, you telling me my daddy died from AIDS?" He said, "I'm not telling you anything. I'm telling you what you told me. I'm going by what you told me." He said, "But that's how it kills. That's what it does. That's how it moves. That's how it acts. That's how it behaves." And I said, and he had this big, and I talked to him about the scar. I'll never forget it. He said, "Exploratory surgery scar." He began to break it down and tell me exactly what that scar was all about. How they were testing black men who had this disease that wasn't just moving from homosexuals. It was moving through black people in the black community. It wasn't nothing new. And you telling me that I now got to beg for this country to pay for its sins when I was a part of the sin that they were putting on our people even into the 60s and 70s. They owe. I watched my daddy die. Stuck my finger in his ass because he couldn't shit and pulled it out because the medicine was that abusive on his body with a rubber glove. His stool sounded like rocks hitting a puddle. These are the things that I had to endure because of this white government that hated black people and would test on us. It ain't just slavery. It's the Tuskegee experiment. It's all the other experiments they did. But people missed that. So it ain't just slavery. This country is bad in so many ways. For everywhere it's good, it's horrible in another. So when you look at me and you look at my face and wonder why I'm so angry and why I deserve to be paid what they owe so I can get the fuck away from a lot of these bastards, this is a reason why. That ain't got nothing to do with slavery, now does it? This is true life stuff. This is what it is. And I'm tired of begging you to do what's right. You keep asking me, why do you owe? Why don't you owe is what you should be asking. It's going to bankrupt the country. This country has made trillions of dollars. It won't bankrupt them. It'll make them feel bad to give it to me. But it won't bankrupt them. It'll make them angry to give niggas something that they owe. But it won't bankrupt them. This country is an empire. They ain't just start making money. Do you know there were people in the South that were billionaires back during slavery? They were billionaires then. Chris Rock made a statement one day. He said, "I guarantee you there ain't a white person in this room that'll trade places with me, and I'm rich." Think about it. I'm done.